My name is Hannah Surratt, and this is my call to action project. My subject is child welfare as it relates to education, figuring out solutions to complex problems. My social economic justice issue of interest is child welfare pertaining to education. According to the Child Welfare Information Gateway, the term child welfare can be defined as a continuum of services designed to ensure that children are safe and that families have the necessary support to care for their children successfully. Social justice refers to the basic value and desired goal of equal and fair access to social institutions, laws, resources, and opportunities without discrimination based on differences. Why is child welfare a concern for and important to social work? Children across the globe are undergoing abuse, neglect, hunger, and maltreatment on a regular basis without their own voices to be heard. Often, it's hard for a child to fight for themselves, making it the job of the social worker to do so. According to the Child Welfare Information Gateway, educators also make crucial contributions to the development and well-being of children and youth. Educators are able to play a key role in the prevention of child abuse and neglect due to the close relationships that are established between them, their students, and the families of those students. When paired with child welfare workers, educators are able to support students and families involved in the child welfare system. Child welfare obtains all of the struggles encompassed in the definition of social welfare. Children facing child welfare due to their circumstances of abuse, neglect, maltreatment, etc., are at risk for problems corresponding with their health, education, and all over economic as well as social well-being. The educational, health, economic, and social deficits that these children are faced with create their need for the help of a social worker. Children can always find their own justice. The mentioned circumstances qualify this issue as a social justice issue, as well as an economic issue due to the impact on a child's life. When child welfare social workers are connected with educators, social workers and educators are both better able to identify, assist, and support children who are or at risk of suffering from abuse and neglect. The connection to social work is clear. It's the role of both the educators and the social workers to care and support for members of a society in order to work for social justice across the spectrum. With this lens, care and support of children is the focus. This care goes hand in hand when a connection from the system to the school is made. Next, we're going to discuss how the field of social work is attending to the issue at hand. According to an American Addiction Centers resource and Child Welfare Information Gateway, social workers address the issue of child welfare in several different ways, such as arranging for children to live with relatives or foster families when they are not safe at home, sometimes eventually arranging permanent adoptive homes or independent living services for children leaving foster care. 54% of children in the child welfare system are placed in non-relative foster or group homes, meaning that 26% of children in the child welfare system are placed in relative homes. Social workers working in the child welfare system also provide assistance to families that need help protecting and caring for their children. They also support the well-being of children living with relatives or foster families by ensuring that their educational needs are addressed. This is done in conjunction with educators when a relationship between the system and the school is made. Social workers working in child welfare also support and coordinate services to prevent child abuse and neglect. Next, we'll discuss the National Association for Social Work standards for social work practice in child welfare. The NASW defines advocacy as the act of supporting the rights of individuals or communities through interventions or empowerment. And they define collaboration as the process by which individuals and organizations work together toward a common purpose. The goals of the NASW as they pertain to child welfare are to encourage social workers in child welfare to participate in the development and refinement of public policy at the local, state, and federal levels to support the well-being of children and youth, and to engage in program evaluation and research aimed to enhance practice. They also provide a foundation for the preparation of child welfare social workers and the development of continuing education materials and programs. The NASW standards include Standard 1, Ethics and Values, Social workers in child welfare shall demonstrate a commitment to the values and ethics of social work profession and shall use the NASW's Code of Ethics as a guide to ethical decision making while understanding a unique aspect of the child welfare practice. Standard 4 is advocacy. Social workers in child welfare shall seek to advocate for resources and system reforms that will improve services for children, youths, and families. But what does it look like to understand this issue from looking at multiple perspectives? It's hard to understand this issue from a perspective other than a social worker or an educator, but a point of view other than that could be that of the child or the client. The assumption for the child is that they are in need of care and support from their teachers and their social worker. Another assumption would be that the child is at risk for or already in a situation of abuse and neglect. The implication is that bonds are formed between the child and both educators and social workers. My solution implies that students be open to this assistance and support. The intended consequence of my solution is that this child comes out of the situation safely being supported and cared for while being placed in or returned to a loving home. The unintended consequence for my solution is that a child could be taken from their parent in order to find a solution that is best for their safety and treatment. There are several action steps that anyone in pursuit of positive change can take in order to ensure the safety and protection of children around them. First, anyone can advocate for positive change in the area of child welfare by becoming more aware and knowledgeable concerning the issue. The 3 types of risk recognition and response are screening, common assessment, and multi-agency team working, such as the bond between the system and the school. It's important to educate ourselves of the warning signs and risks of recognition for the child in need of welfare. Anyone can be a reporter when weary of child abuse and/or neglect. It's important to search for the warning signs and report them when necessary for the protection and care of the child or children. Anyone can be a resource to children in or at risk for situations of abuse and neglect. It's important for children to know that there are adults who care for them and safe places for them to go in seeking care and protection. In conclusion, educators and social workers can work together, leaning on one another to successfully support children at risk for or coming from situations of neglect and abuse. This support comes in different forms of solution for both the educator and the social worker. According to the Child Welfare Information Gateway, educators should work toward identifying possible abuse and neglect situations, report suspected situations, be a resource for child welfare agencies, be a resource for children involved, and provide support for these children and their families. Child welfare workers can assist educators and support children in the system by ensuring that children are ready to learn and kept in their schools. When educators are invited to participate in a multidisciplinary team, child welfare workers and educators are able to support and assist one another in the protection and support of children in and at risk for abuse and neglect. Thank you for watching my call to action project and learning about the small steps that you can take in your everyday life to support and protect children in need.